If your barn always feels tight, but you can't explain why, it's almost always because you don't actually know what it costs to keep the place alive for 30 days. In this video, I'm going to show you how I map a barn or horse's business's real monthly overhead in about 20 minutes. No spreadsheet degree, no fancy software, just a calm, clear way to see what your barn or horse business really eats before it ever pays you a dollar. If you run a horse business and your current answer to what's your monthly overhead is some version of a lot, this is for you. Because until you know that number, every decision you make about prices, borders, lessons, or upgrades is just guessing. I'm Curtis Andriotti, and I help horse business owners add real usable profit without adding more horses or more hours. Today, we're going to cover three things: what monthly overhead actually is for a barn, and what most people miss. A simple 4 bucket worksheet you can fill out in about 20 minutes. How to use it to stop feeling behind and start making clean, confident money decisions. This is for boarding barns, lesson programs, trainers, and equine service businesses who feel busy and tired and still not sure where all the money goes. A quick story. The first time I really sat down with a horse business owner to map overhead, she said, hay and feed are killing me. That's my overhead, right? We started writing things down: hay and feed, bedding, labor, rent, insurance, power and water, equipment repairs, shared vet and farrier costs, garbage, manure removal, tractor fuel. 20 minutes later, she was staring at the page saying, "No wonder I'm exhausted. I've been pretending half of this doesn't exist." Her barn had felt like a black hole. It wasn't. It was just expensive. And once we could see it clearly, we could finally do something about it. That's what I want for you. Most barns manage overhead like this. If hey guy's happy, we're okay. If accountant isn't negative, we're okay. If we can squeak through show season, we're okay. The problem is, okay is not a number. And when overhead is just a feeling, you're underpriced boarder. You underprice board because you don't see all the hidden costs. You add more horses thinking more in will fix more out. You feel guilty raising rates because you can't explain why they need to go up. You can't steer a barn you refuse to look at on paper. So let's make overhead boring and simple, not scary and mystical. Overhead is just the cost of keeping your barn alive or horse business for 1 month before you get paid. Not someday, not annually, 30 days. And there are really only 4 buckets you need to care about: horse costs, things that scale with number of horses; people costs, labor and anything tied to humans, including some of you; property costs, the privilege of having land, buildings, and lights; leak costs, all the little recurring things that quietly add up. Once you know those four, you know what the barn eats. Here's how most horse businesses get overhead: counting hay and ignoring humans. Feed is obvious. Your time, your staff's time, quietly left out. Treating annual staff as it'll work out: insurance, taxes, big repairs. They hit once or twice a year, but they are all monthly overhead spread out. Mixing personal and barn, fuel, truck, phone, sometimes for you, sometimes for the barn. When it's always fuzzy, you're always unsure. Never writing it down, looking at charges on a statement, is not the same thing as totaling what it takes to run this place for 30 days. All of that keeps you in hope mode instead of no mode. Let's flip it. Grab a piece of paper. At the top right, horse business monthly overhead month of, and then the month. Draw 4 big sections. Bucket 1, horse costs. These are costs that go up or down with the number of horses: hay and feed, bedding, supplements you routinely cover, shared vet or farrier expenses you eat for the herd, shavings or pellets, manure removal, if mostly per horse. For each, ask, what do I usually spend in a month? Write rough amounts. Round to the nearest 50 or $100, then total them. Horse cost total, blank. Bucket 2, people costs. This includes staff and you, full-time and part-time staff wages, work exchange or discounted board you give in exchange for labor, payroll taxes or workers' comp if you pay them, basic owner wage you would have to pay someone to replace you on the barn floor, even if you're not paying it yet. An estimate. So if I had to pay someone to do what I physically do here, what would that cost per month? Total everything. People cost total. Put it in the blank. Bucket 3, property costs. Everything tied to owning or renting the physical place. Rent or mortgage, property tax portion, monthly usually, utilities, electricity, water, gas, propane, insurance, liability, property, care, custody, control, spread monthly, trash, manure, dumpster, sewage if separate, total property costs. Bucket 4, leak costs, all the recurring little things that quietly stack up. Software subscriptions, scheduling, billing, cameras, etc. Office supplies, printer, ink, stamps. Marketing spends, ads, web hosting. Professional services, bookkeeper, accountant, association dues. Bank and processing fees, roughly monthly. Put the total in. Leak cost total, put it in the blank. Now add the 4 buckets. Total over monthly head is. That number is what your barn eats or horse business every 30 days before it gives you $1. For many business owners, this is the moment they feel 2 things at once. Validation, I'm not crazy. This is expensive. Fear, I had no idea it was that high. Both are real, both are useful. You've been driving a loaded rig at night with the dashboard lights off, white knuckling it by feel. Putting the numbers on paper doesn't create the problem, it reveals it. And once you see it, you get to decide what kind of owner you're going to be. The one who keeps hoping it somehow works out, or the one who knows exactly what it costs to take care of everyone and choose numbers that take care of them too. You don't have to love this, you just have to be willing to look at it. Here's how I do this. Here's how I do this with you in real time. Step 1, gather 3 things, just 2 minutes. Last month's bank statement, last month's credit card statement, if you use one for barn expenses, a highlighter, and your 4 bucket sheet. Step 2, one fast pass to highlight barn expenses, about 5 or 7 minutes should do. Flip through and highlight anything that is clearly horse business related. Don't overthink. If in doubt, skip. We're going for 80% clarity today, not audit level perfection. Step 3, sort the highlights into 4 buckets, 7 to 10 minutes. For each highlighted line, write a rough monthly number into the right bucket. Hay, feed, savings. Hay, feed, shavings, horse. Wages, work, trade, your would-be wage, for people. Rent, utilities, insurance, for property. Software, marketing, supplies, miscellaneous, those leaks. If something hits once a year, insurance, property tax, divide by 12 and plug into the monthly share. Step 4, total each bucket. It should take about 3 minutes. Add each bucket, don't stall, round. Then total the 4 buckets together to get total monthly overhead. Step 5, sanity check, 3 minutes. Just ask yourself, does this roughly feel right, given what I see leaving the account every month? Is there anything big missing, truck payments, tractor loans, that the barn really depends on? If yes, plug it in and update the totals. Now you have a real, honest monthly cost to keep your horse business alive. You can now see if your current income even has a chance of paying you. Calculate the minimum board rates that make sense given your property and horse costs. Decide if adding horses helps, hurts, or just adds risk. Decide what to cut that no one will truly miss. This is step 2 of getting profitable. Know what's coming in, know what's going out. You just did this. Decide what needs to change. If you want this on Rails, I put this framework into the free barn profit starter kit. Printable barn monthly overhead worksheet with 4 buckets already laid out. A barn number snapshot that pairs the overhead with income so you can see your real profit in one view. You could download it for free below. And if you want help turning this into decisions, pricing, board lesson rates, here's what we do every week inside the Horse Business Profit Club. Equine specific tools and calculators, weekly barn profit clinics, a calm place to talk about money where you don't have to pretend it's fine. Today, you learned monthly overhead is simply what the barn eats in 30 days before you get paid. You can see it clearly in about 20 minutes using 4 buckets: horse, people, property, and leaks. Once you know the number, you could stop guessing and start making clean, grown up decisions about pricing, horses, and your own pay. You already do the hard physical work to keep your barn running. This 20-minute map is the hard mental work that lets you keep doing that without quietly draining yourself dry. So, print the sheet, grab last month's statements, and give your barn the respect of knowing what it really costs to keep it alive. You can't steer what you refuse to see.